These are some books that I've ordered that I've already listened to the audio versions of. So I'm going to open the packages now. I already cut them open so I could do this with one hand, but I haven't actually pulled the books out. So, what book do we have here? It is... Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. There we go. Michael Dell's Play Nice But Win, a CEO's journey from founder to leader. That was a cool book, an audio book. It was actually read by him. And let's see, what have we in this package? It is dun 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 dun. It is Physics or Basic Physics for Beginners, a comprehensive study guide for the self-taught scientist. That was a pretty good book too. And okay, now what book is this one? It's a big one apparently. And opening the book package. Opening. There we go. All right, it is How the Internet Happened from Netscape to the iPhone. And that was a really interesting book too. It talked about pretty much, I think, from scratch to the internet. And yeah, it's awesome. Then, see, I'm saving the big package for last. Ooh, big package. Okay. And what book is this? The Hidden Habits of Genius. Beyond Talent, IQ, and Grit, Unlocking the Secrets of Greatness. If I can get it into focus. Yeah. And that was a really cool book. It talked a lot about people like Albert Einstein, just, a bunch of different people. I think Beethoven, if I remember correctly, Mozart, and a whole bunch of different ones. And last but not least is dun 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 dun. Hold on, this one needs to be opened a bit more. Okay, and what have we here? Multiple books and The Toyota Way. This one is really cool. It talks about about Toyota's things like the constant improvement and just a whole bunch of different concepts about the Toyota manufacturing. That was stuff like just-in-time inventory that Japan did, and later lots of companies throughout the United States and world started adopting it. And so yeah, anyway, it's a really cool book. And what's the next book? Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah. Hold on, take that paper out. Yeah. That's a funny book. It has a bunch of embedded lessons into it. It's pretty cool. And one of the key lessons is that a lot of times the question is harder to formulate than the answer. The answer is sometimes simple and easy, but figuring out the right questions to ask, that's the hard part. And when you figure out the right questions, the answer is simple. Okay, what is this? It is dun, 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 The Goal. This is a really cool book. This is the one that I'm trying to remember because I listened to a bunch of audiobooks. I believe this is the one that talks about the assembly line, basically, and that if you have one bottleneck on an assembly line, if everything is sequential, like has to be done in a specific order, however slow that bottleneck is, the end result product is not going to be any faster than the slowest point in that whole assembly line. The key thing would be then to focus on, if all things are equal, focus on that biggest bottleneck and remove the bottleneck or make it not a bottleneck anymore, and that speeds up everything. And Here's another book, The Lean Startup. How today's entrepreneurs use continuous innovation to create radically successful businesses. And this one's really cool too. And let's see, what else do we have here? Dun, 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 dun. Super Thinking, the Big Book of Mental Models. That was a really cool book. And what else do we have? I'm trying to remember if I listened to this book. I don't remember the cover of it for sure because I listened to the audio versions. But actually, I'll just glance at the back real quick. Let's see if I can make the camera plainer. World's greatest problem solvers forecast. I know what mental models are. I've read and listened to a lot of stuff about mental models, especially from Charlie Munger. So anyway, that's basically mental models are the big ideas from the different disciplines such as economics, finance, and psychology, physics, and so on. Like opportunity cost from economics, which says if I'm something like, I'll give an example with when I got my bachelor's degree, or received my bachelor's degree. I did the whole thing online, and I figured out part of the cost that I figured, besides gas and depreciation of the vehicle, was the opportunity cost. Like if I was driving an hour and a half a day to and from college, then that would be costing me an hour and a half that I could be working, making a certain amount of money. So that's an example of opportunity cost. That's one of the mental models. Another one is the margin of safety, because if you, like Warren Buffett gives an illustration of that. If you have a bridge that can hold 80,000 pounds, you don't want to put a 78,000 pound or 79,000 pound truck over that bridge because there's not enough margin of safety. But if you have one that holds 100,000 pounds, then you could drive the 79,000 pound truck over it. That's another mental model. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's vice president, or used to be, he used, I think it was like 100 mental models to filter out stuff to make decisions with. So that's the key idea of this book. And what is this? Think like a rocket scientist. Simple strategies you can use to make giant leaps in work and life. It talks about a bunch of concepts from rocket science and how they can be utilized in multiple areas of life. And dun dun dun, what do we have here? The creative curve. This talks about the aha moments, or the light bulb suddenly coming on for great inventions and realizations. A lot of times, even the people that come up with the things, I think that they think that it's, or they may think it's just some kind of big epiphany that they suddenly had out of nowhere. But if you look at the reality of stuff, is they might have studied and tried to figure this stuff out for huge amounts of years, and then it's those different parts of the brain that had that knowledge in different areas connected together suddenly. And that's pretty much what this book talks about. So next, and is it the last one? Yep, I think so. Dun dun dun. Last one is Deep Work. This one is super powerful and interesting. One illustration is from one of the co-founders of PayPal, and he would, Peter Thiel, one of the co-founders of PayPal, when he would talk to employees, if they were talking about or doing anything besides the one key thing that they were to be focusing on, he would say, don't even talk about anything else until this one thing is complete. And part of the reason for that is there's a lot of psychology behind it, and this book goes into it. It's something to do with how the when someone hyper focuses on one thing, that the brain cells start doing something different and creating some kind of I forgot what it's called, melanin sheath, or I forgot what it was called, but anyway, that the brain starts doing something different and people get stuff done way better. And so this is this is also the concept that Lex Friedman talks about as deep work, and he lives it. There's a video he has on YouTube of his schedule where he's talking about it, and he does, I believe he'll do a 4-hour chunk of deep work and not do anything else but focus on one thing, and he'll do different things throughout the day, more light work and exercise and eat and so on, and then he'll do another chunk of deep work for another 4 hours. And so anyway, that's something he applies as well. So that is all the books for now. And there's Deep Work, The Creative Curve, Think Like a Rocket Scientist, Super Thinking, The Lean Startup, The Goal, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Toyota Way, 2nd edition, The Hidden Habits of Genius, How the Internet Happened from Netscape to the iPhone, Basic Physics for Beginners, and Play Nice But Win by Michael Dell. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, let me know, and please click like and subscribe. Thanks.